not have to wear those masks. I mean, please take them off. Honestly, it's not doing anything, and we got to stop with this COVID theater. So if you want to wear it, fine, but this is ridiculous.
All right. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis bluntly, as you heard, told high school students to take off their masks if they wanted during a news conference yesterday. Ron DeSantis really doesn't know how to say anything that isn't blunt. All right. And you heard him say COVID theater must end. One of the seniors standing behind him, Eric Marshall, then opted to take his mask off after DeSantis' request. But Marshall's mother, who the media shockingly decided to track down, said that she had asked her son to wear it.
I'm responsible for him, and I told him to wear that mask.
Did you feel pressure by the governor to do that?
A little. It was more of a pressure of an adult figure asking me to do something.
Now, DeSantis, of course, has been vocal that parents should decide what's best for their kids in schools.
We're going to do whatever we can to vindicate the rights of parents and make sure that parents are in the driver's seat when it comes to the health, education, and welfare of their kids.
Batya Ungar-Sargon, deputy opinion editor for Newsweek, with us. First things first, I couldn't get over the soundbite where the kid who wore the mask indoors was now wearing the mask outdoors next to his mother who didn't have a mask on. But we'll put that aside for a second, from the sublime to the merely ridiculous. But it goes to this point, right? Okay, that Ron DeSantis has been Mr. Personal Choice. Parents should decide, parents should decide, parents should decide. Who's he to tell another parent's child what to do?
You know, it was a really interesting moment. I think it really did get blown out of proportion. A lot of people reporting that he was bullying the students. You know, I don't think that constitutes bullying. He was very aggressive. It was very clear where he stood. And there was one student who opted not to take his mask off, so a leader was definitely born in that moment. But I think your point is so salient. You know, DeSantis is Mr. Parents should decide, Mr. You know, students are too young to be learning about critical race theory, too young to be exposed to things like transgender ideas and ideology, right? So if children are that impressionable and in need of his protection in the classroom, you know, maybe he shouldn't be speaking to them in such an aggressive adult manner.
You know, it was interesting, sort of, he almost sounded like he was really scolding them at one point. You've got to admire Ron DeSantis, like him or not, that the guy never apologizes. He learned that from Donald Trump, and doubled down now with a hype video, if you will, that he has sent out as a fundraising pitch. Take a listen. There it is, in case it didn't end up in your fundraising email inbox junk setting. Ron DeSantis, though, is the front runner in the Republican Party by a couple of touchdowns if President Trump doesn't get into the race. This plays extraordinarily well with the base.
Yeah, I mean, he knows that the polling across the nation is on his side when it comes to ending the COVID theater. Even on the Democratic side now, you know, we saw at the State of the Union, you know, the Democrats, they're reading the same polls he is. Right. They know that people are just fed up with this, and they know, I think he knows that people will forgive him for being a little bit brusque with some teenagers, you know, if he said the right thing to them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wouldn't have done this segment except for the fact that we went back and looked at some of the other things that Ron DeSantis has done in the pandemic. And he was the one who famously, and he talked about it in the ad, we're going to keep Florida open. And he let businesses decide whether or not they would close. It was always the businesses should be able to decide if there's masks or not, on and on. They should decide. And then the cruise lines decided they wanted a vaccine mandate, and he flipped, and it was no longer up to businesses. He was going to sue them all. Are we at the point now where both parties have decided that you should have personal choice so long as you decide what I agree with?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no consistency here. I think that
no shame
point,
in hypocrisy.
that you started with. Yeah, exactly. You know, as long as they're saying the thing they think people want to hear, that's what's happening. But I think, you know, more importantly is the question of schooling. Look, either you're running on the idea of parents should get to say what their children do, including with COVID, including with masks, including with, you know, transgender education, right? Or you're the person who says, no, this is something that, you know, we have a standard and we're going to set the standard. I'm going to be very clear, even with students, when I have contempt for the choice that they're making, right?
I wanted to get you on this because you've been at the forefront of really speaking to the power of parents that we've seen. We saw it, and you talked about it long before the Virginia governor's race, where Glenn Youngkin won. He was a Republican in a state that was Biden plus 10, and he won on the issues of schools. You predicted it. You saw in President Biden's State of the Union, he came back and he sort of said, we're going to keep schools open. He gave this real nod to parents and a little bit of a slap to the teachers' unions. Does that take an arrow out of Republicans' quiver about schools come November?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think the idea of parents being this new grassroots middle-class force in American politics it's sort of like the working class. They've been abandoned by both sides, and which means that they're a constituency that's up for grabs, right? Whoever shows up and starts catering to them and saying, look, we're going to respect you. We're going to respect the role that you play in your children's lives in schools, whatever, what have you. They're going to have a major shot with that constituency.
Yeah, and certainly it's one we heard from the Republicans in their response that is the constituency they're going after. That's the suburban moms. They think they lost in 2020 and went back. Batya, always good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
That was fun. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.